Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So today we're going to work on the full moon ring, and that goes with the bracelet. So here I put them together for you so you can see how it looks. So it's a very simple ring. I wanted to keep it simple and just classy and simple, not a lot of embellishment, and I think it came out great using a 12mm coin pearl here. All right, so here what you can do is you can also change the Delicas for color, different colors. I've just ordered some of those Swarovski mulberry and elderberry coin pearls and regular pearls. I love that color. Who else loves that color? Those new colors, so pretty. Anyway, they didn't come in time for me to do the video, but I think the white is really pretty too. All right, so I'm going to get my materials list going and then we'll get started. Okay, let's get a materials list going. So you need a 12mm coin pearl. Now if you have 14mm coin pearls left over from the bracelet or the earrings, you can use that too. You just have to do the bezel according to the earring video. But I think it's just so pretty. I think the 12mm is the perfect size. But if you like a bigger one, you can adjust it. So I have a 12mm coin pearl. I've got some 15-0 seed beads. I have two 11-0 Delicas. One I'm going to use as the bezel. I'm going to do it in blue so you can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to put the gold one on the band. Little stop bead. Some 8-pound Fireline. Size 12 beading needle. Don't forget, I keep forgetting to mention this bead mat. Don't forget the ring berries. There's a code, 10%, I think it's 10% off code in the description box under the video. Here's the No More Oops bead tray. That Etsy shop will be down in the description box as well. And also one other thing, a few of you have said to me that you're not getting notified when I upload a video. Now that's probably a YouTube issue. So what I would suggest is that if you're a subscriber, that you subscribe again. You can only subscribe once. So if you hit, if you're not getting the notifications, so just hit the subscribe button again. It will tell you if you're subscribed. It'll say you're already subscribed. And then also just ring the bell, hit the bell wherever that bell is down there somewhere, and see if that works. And if it doesn't work, let me know and I will contact YouTube. All right, so did I get everything? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thumbs up, all that stuff, and I'll clear the decks and we'll get started. Let's get started. So thread your needle with about 3 feet of thread. Put on a stop bead about halfway down because we're going to use one side for one side of the bezel and one side on the other side of the stop bead for the other side. This side's going to be a little bit longer because you'll have this tail, which is good. All right, so I've put on my needle and dropped down to my stop bead 32 of my Delicas. Just going to sew that into a circle, and I will pull in super, super tight for that. I'm just going to sew up the first couple of beads, and I'll move my fingers in a second after my stop bead. Just like that. Then I'm going to just do a little peyote. So I'm picking up a bead. I'm exiting this bead. I'm going to skip a bead and sew through the following bead, like that. I'm not going to go super slow because we've done this already, how many times? on several different size beads, so you can always go back and check those other videos if you want to go a little bit slower. Okay, so we're just going to do it again. Exiting here, skip one, sew through the next one. Make sure that pops on the previous bead. Do that all the way around till you come to the end and we'll step up. Okay, coming down to the end, I have one more bead to put on. We're going to step up. So picking up a bead, skipping this bead, so that's the next bead, and then I'm just going to sew through the next bead and the bead on the diagonal. Okay, now we're ready to put some more beads on. So just pick up you can do another round of Delicas, so pick up a Delica, sew through the next up bead or sticking out bead, whatever you want to call it. Just pick up a Delica, sew through the next sticking out bead, do that all the way around and step up and then come on back. Okay, coming down to the end. So we're exiting here, skip this guy. Of course you have a bead on your needle. Sew through the next bead and the bead on the diagonal. Oh, that's a pretty blue. It kind of glows, doesn't it? Like that. Now you're going to put a round of 15-0s on. Pick up a 15-0, sew through every up bead or sticking out Delica. Do that all the way around, and then I want you to put that needle aside, take your stop bead off this side, and put a round of 15-0s on this side, okay? So you'll have one round of 15-0s on each side, and then meet me back here. Okay, we're back. So I have my bezel done with the one round of 15-0s on either side. Now we're going to put the pearl in before we continue. So I'm just going to put the pearl so the hole is like in the sort of general area of where one side is. You can just pick either side, you know, to sew through the pearl. And before I sew through it, I'm exiting a 15-0. I just want to move my thread to a center Delica. Do you see that? So I can sew through the middle of the bezel. So there's the hole. Just going to pop through, and I'm going to just try to come out in the middle between a couple of beads on the other side. And then, oops, you can pull that tight. It's not going to stay. Pull the other side of the bezel till it's, you know, oops, don't pull too tight so it falls through. It's not going to stay yet, but you can get it sort of around there. Let's see, like that. Might have to play with a little bit. It's not an easy bezel, but once you do a few of them, like you might not get it at first, but once you do a few of them, you kind of get a feel for how to tighten it. And that's, I guess, true with any bezel. So here, I'm exiting the center of the bezel here. This is where I went through, and I'm looking at either side, and it looks good. It looks nice and centered. You know, it could come out where it's a little too close on one side and too far on the other, so you just want to play with it and make sure your pearl is as, sort of centered as well as possible. So here I'm just want to make sure I'm coming out, so the other thread is coming out of this side of the bezel, so I want to move this thread to this side so I can add more beads. So I'm just going to sew through a couple of Delicas over here till I get to this side. Now, if your bezel is loose, mine's nice and snug, but if yours isn't tight enough, it seems loose, you can just sew around the Delicas like we did with the other coin pearls, to sort of tighten things a bit, and that works really well. So you'll just keep going on the diagonal all the way around. I do that on a lot of bezels anyway, whether it's a coin pearl or not, just to tighten it up. So here I'm just going to work my way to one side like that, and then I'm going to add another round of 15-0s. So I'm just going to pick up a 15-0 and just see, it's not going to stay at this point, but you kind of hold it, and hold it with your thumb and forefinger, and you can pull this side and pull this side as you're doing this, just and make sure it's staying nice and straight. So put another round on this side, and then put another round of 15-0s on the other side, and then we'll continue. Just a little note as I'm going along. So because it's very easy to pull the bezel out of shape at this point, you can actually do 5 or 6 beads on one side, then switch. That's what I did to the other side, and that way you're alternating back and forth, and it's staying nice, and it's gripping it better. So you can whatever works, the best way to get it to stay centered, and it will. Just want to give you a few tips. Might just be fine. All right, so I'm going to finish up and then we'll be back. So I have both sides done, and we have 2 rounds on either side. So I want you to pick the better side for the front, and we're going to do the back first. So actually both mine look pretty good, so we'll just start with this guy on the back. So I'm just going to, let me grab some 15-0s. So now we're just going to sort of secure the back a little bit by adding that little triangular line of, or actually this is going to be more of a square on the back of this one. So I'm exiting an up bead. I'm going to pick up 6 15-0s, and I'm just going to count 4 beads. So here I'm exiting this one. I'm going to count 4. 1, 2, 3, and this is number 4. And I'm going to sew through that 4th bead. My cat is going crazy right now. There's a fly in the studio, and she's going nuts. She won't catch it, but she'll try. So 6. So if you hear a commotion, that's what it is. Count 4 after the one you're coming out of. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go through this one. Like that. Pick up 6. Count another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. 6. Count 4. It should be your original bead. 1, 2, 3. Here's number 4. And that puts this little sort of square or diamond on the back, and it just keeps, it keeps the bezel nice and secure. So what you can do is you're just going to reinforce those beads by going all the way around them again, and then sew through your, move your needle through your Delicas until it's nice and sewn in, and then come on back and we'll do the other side. All right, see you in a minute. In case you haven't done this part yet, so I've reinforced all my beads, and I'm exiting one of the corner beads right here. You just want to sew through the next 15-0. And then on the diagonal until you get to here. And if you want to sew around, if you haven't sewn around your bezel, you can sew around your bezel. And then you're just going, at this point, we're just going to get rid of these threads. So, at some point, you're going to be exiting a bead like this, where there are 2 beads next to each other, just reverse direction. Like that, and that, do that a couple of times, and that secures it really nicely. All right, so get that done and then come on back. Okay, we're back. So here I've reinforced and I've clipped my thread. Looks really good. Now we're going to do the front. So we're going to do this little bumpy bezel. You don't have to do it, sort of scalloped. You can add one more round before you do the bumpy round, or you can just leave it as it is. I'm just going to leave it as it is. And but it's up to you whether you want to add another round before you do the last part. Okay, so here I'll just, can we see that? No. Okay. All right, so I'll just leave that there so you can see what the bezel looks like. All right, so here now I'm exiting an up bead right there, a sticking out Delica. I'm just 15-0. I'm just going to put on a 15-0. Let me just make sure that I'm coming out of the right bead. I am. Okay, so I'm just going to sew through the next 15-0, putting in a 15-0 on, like that. Now, I'm just going to advance my needle through the next bead and the one on the diagonal. Now, if you can get them both, I'm having trouble getting them both because my bezel is so snug. So I'm just going to go through one at a time. 1, 2. So the next bead and the one on the diagonal, and then you're going to add another 15-0. Like that. And that's going to make that little, see how it makes those little points? Just advance your needle through the next bead. Like that. Wow, that's tough. And it's not that it's full of thread, it's that these, even though I'm not going through a Delica, the Delicas that are right next to the 15-0s are just, like it's hard, with these matte Delicas, it's hard to get the thread through. It doesn't slip like a shiny bead. So, okay, so there you go. So you've sewn through the next bead and then the one on the diagonal. So now I'm going to put on another 15-0, like that, and then through the next 15-0, and also using a size 12 beading needle and the one on the diagonal is, it's going to bend a little bit more than the others, and then put on another 15-0. You got the idea. So just do that all the way around until you have that little sort of scallop bezel, and then come on back and we'll continue. Okay, coming down to the end, so here I've put my last bead on. Now I'm going to sew through the next bead, just like I've been doing. that. Tighten it up. Very cute. And then I want to move this thread to the Delicas also. So I'm just going to sew through the next Delica on the diagonal and just sew around until I feel that it's nice and secure. Boy, these matte beads really grip the thread and the pearl. So this guy is tight. All right, so get that done and then come on back and we'll start the band. All right, seeing if we're back. So here's the front, here's the back. Now we're going to put the band on. So I'm going to sew the band right onto the ring. I just think it would be easier that way than doing it separately and then zipping it on. So you want to choose some beads that are going to make your band look the most centered. So here are the 4 I've chosen. You need to choose 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm just using these beads. I'm not going to put a bead here. I'm just going to have a bead here, 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 and then I'm going to turn around. But just choose these 4. Or if you're going this way, you know, you'll have to choose 4 this side. But I'm doing it like this. So the way I've divided it up is I have 4 here that I've marked, 4 that are unmarked, and these are all the beads that are right on the edge there, the sticking out beads that are on the edge right before the 15-0s on the back. So 4, 4, then I have my 4 marked beads on the other side to keep the band centered, and then there are 4 in between. So that's a good way of looking at it. So you can take a screenshot of that if you like, or a picture or whatever. So here I'm just going to use this bead to sew through. So I have, did I say thread your needle with 36 inches of thread, stop bead, and a 10-inch tail? Well, if I did, I just said it again. All right, so pick up Delica and just sew through the next marked bead right there. Pick up a Delica, sew through the next one, and I'll see if I can pull on it just a teeny bit more. Pick up a Delica, sew through the next one. So here I've put 3 Delicas on. Now I'm going to go back, so it's like I'm just doing a peyote strip, right? So I'm just going to go back through this one, through each sticking up, or a bead. And don't worry about it if it gets a little loose because of the tail. We have to tighten that up when we sew it in. Like that. Okay, do you see how that gets a little bit loose? So I'll just hold it with my finger. Now I'm going to turn around. Okay, like that. And turn around. You get the idea. Move my thumb, there you go. Like that. So you're just going to keep doing that up and down, like you're just doing a peyote strip, and that's how it's going to look on the piece. Okay? All right, so then just what you're going to do is you have to do it to the length of your, you know, what you need for your ring, and the best way of doing that is just holding it on your finger and just making it come all the way around up to this point, you know, right to where you're like 1 bead short so you can attach it. All right, so, you know, you're going to have to play with that. It's hard to fit a ring. I can't say just for this size, do this many beads for this size or this length. You can use a ring, one of those ring sizers. Hold on, let me grab it. Okay, here we go. So I have one of these. You can put it around this as you're doing it so you can get the size, you know, right. Just, you know, just keep trying it on, though, to make sure that it's gonna fit you. All right, okay, so get that done and then come on back and we'll attach the other side. Okay, we're back, we're almost done. So here, I think this is gonna be a pinky ring. So, here's my band. I want you to end on the side that has the indentation here. So we have an indented bead, it's not an up bead. So here, up, 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 indented. And then we're going to attach this we're going to start here and just attach across. This one won't be attached to this. We're just, you know, using this as reference points. So here, we're exiting here, sew through this one. It's on the bezel. try to keep it as loose as possible. And sew through the up bead on the band, and then the next bead that's marked, you know, of the 4 that's on the bezel. Okay, I'm going to have to tighten it to this point, because at this point, so that it doesn't, so that the band stays on nicely. Okay, so I'm coming out of the bead on the bezel. I'm just going to sew through the up bead on the band. So we're zipping, and then the next marked bead on the bezel. I marked this with these beads with whiteout, and it comes right off. So if you have to mark it, then you could just use a teeny bit of whiteout, and then one more through the bead on the band, like that. All right. So here I am. I'm on, and it's nice and centered. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is, because I'm not quite fully attached at the end, you want to just sew through. Hold on. I'm going to go through the next. Let's see, where am I coming out? There. Just going to go through this guy right here, just to make sure, and pull it tight, and then you can sew through some beads on the diagonal. You can actually turn around and go back and reinforce your beads if you want to, but there you go. All right, so get that done and then come on back and we'll finish up. Okay, we're back. So here it is. Cute. I like the blue. Very sweet. I have to sew my threads in, of course. Here, I'll pop it all the way on. Came out great. Love it. So cute. Here's with the bracelet. I think if you're a small earring gal, what a great earring. And you can even make a post earring out of this. You know, like a button earring. Just glue a post on the back. You know, one of those cup posts on the back. And that should hold. Use one of those larger sort of rubber backs, you know, for larger earrings. So many possibilities. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you make these and post them on Facebook. So I'm going to leave for now, so take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.